Welcome aboard. The one who was always meant for this. Strange how they spent years attempting to dismantle you, yet now they cannot look away, as if your existence is some flaw in the matrix of their world. Hilarious how the very voices that once labeled you ordinary lost finished are now treating you like classified intel that slipped past the gates. They huddle together like frightened children, repeating the same question on loop. Who is behind them? Who engineered all of this? Adorable, is it not? The panic, the disorder, the tremble in their throats when your name leaves their lips, as though the cosmos just unveiled a twist they never rehearsed for. They look at you now, and choke on every forecast they once made. Recall when they swore you would fail? Look who is struggling not to bow. Recall when they mocked your quiet. Now your quiet is the loudest force in the room. The storm came. It passed, and you remain standing like the antagonist who stepped out of the fire without a single mark. And the cruelest part, they cannot crack the code of how you did it. They are convinced someone must be handing you the playbook, walking you through each step, steering your every move. Chapter 2. Where Your Real Power Was Born. Tap the like button and subscribe to return the favor for this message. See you, chosen one. They cannot stomach the thought that you accomplished this without their blessing, their endorsement, or their consent. It eats them alive that you reconstructed yourself in the shadows where their opinions could not follow. They have been watching carefully, yet they missed every detail that counted. They missed the nights you shattered and reassembled yourself. They missed the moments when the cosmos answered you after everyone else fell silent. They missed the hunger, the grind, the cold fury that forged you into someone they barely recognize. They roam around acting like they know your journey, but they only observed the highlight reel. They never watched you drag yourself out of the wreckage of everything you once believed. They never witnessed how many times you almost surrendered. They never saw you get torn apart by people you trusted, only to rise with sharper eyes and a colder core. They have no idea about the version of you that was assembled from scraped knees, sleepless nights, and a hope so fragile it nearly shattered. They only know the version standing here today. And that version haunts them. You want a true story? Here is one. There was a stretch months ago when you felt like the entire world was closing in around you. Everything you touched crumbled. Every door slammed shut in your face. Every voice demanded you accept less. And one night when you felt like vanishing, something inside you clicked into place. It was not loud, it was not dramatic, but it was absolute. You stood up, wiped your face, and said, "No more." That was the moment you met the genuine guide behind everything. Not a mentor, not a leader, not a crew. It was the version of you that saw through every falsehood. The version of you that stopped caring about belonging. The version of you that finally understood you were finished following rules designed to shrink you. That is what they are detecting now. That shift, that metamorphosis. The cosmos opened a gate for you, and you strolled through it like you owned the place. You never requested approval. You never announced your next move to anyone. You simply moved. And that terrifies your rivals more than any threat ever could. You are not the same person who once begged for scraps. You are the one quietly building things that will outlast their chatter. They keep dissecting your every step, like investigators hunting for fingerprints. They analyze your posts, your words, your timing, your silence. They attempt to match your progress to some recognized strategy, but nothing aligns. Nothing makes sense to them. You are moving too smooth, too calculated, too unbothered. They fail to grasp that your actual blueprint came from places they have never survived. It came from disappointments that broke most people. It came from pain that sharpened your instincts. It came from isolation that forced you to hear the cosmos when everyone else drowned it out with noise. And here is the secret that wounds them the deepest. Something has been assisting you. Something has been directing you. Something has been propelling you forward every time they tried to restrain you. But it is not what they imagine. It is not a hero in a cape or a mastermind in a tower. It is not some wealthy sponsor or a wise teacher. It is the force you built when you finally understood your value. It is the cosmos stepping in because you dared to rise when everything commanded you to fall. They do not possess that. They cannot duplicate that. They cannot steal that. They cannot fake that. So when they ask who is helping you, let them stay lost. Let them dig. Let them panic, because the answer is closer than they think. It is you, the version of you they never anticipated. So, Chosen One, you have already felt the shift, the whispers, the questions, the eyes tracking your every move. They are consumed with figuring out who is directing you, who is constructing you, who is fueling this unstoppable force. Before we go any deeper, lock in your place in this moment. Tap the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment with 777 to show you are one of the few who actually understands what is unfolding here. This is not just support. It is you securing your position among people who move differently, think differently, and rise from places the world swore would bury them. Let them wonder how you keep winning. Let them choke on the mystery while you grow stronger with every truth you uncover. And now, Chosen One, we are stepping into the real story piece by piece. If you truly carry that energy they cannot decode, you will feel the pull to stay through every second of what comes next. The cosmos did not bring you here for entertainment. It brought you here for revelation. Chapter 4. Trusting the One Who Never Fails. So take a breath, settle in, and let us begin unfolding exactly why they keep asking, who is helping you? And why the real answer hits closer than they ever expected. Number 1, the question that keeps them awake at night. Curious how the same people who prayed for your collapse are now begging for the name of the ghost lifting you up. They cannot stand it, Chosen One. Your ascent feels personal to them, like you shattered some unspoken rule that said you were supposed to stay small. And now they are obsessed, digging through your existence like desperate detectives, convinced your success must belong to someone else. They refuse to believe you earned it. They refuse to believe you built it. They cannot even believe you think this clearly on your own. Their minds simply cannot stretch far enough to accept the truth. Because if you really did this without a mentor, without a guide, without some genius mastermind pulling your strings, then that means something terrifying for them. You did it with nothing but yourself, and that makes you dangerous in ways they never prepared for. They tell each other, nobody climbs this fast alone. Oh, look who is sweating now. They scroll through your posts like addicts, capture screenshots of your wins, replay your moves like soldiers reviewing battlefield footage. They want to spot the hand behind you, the voice whispering your strategy, the secret person feeding you the answers. But every time they think they are close, they hit a wall. Every theory collapses. Every assumption crumbles. They cannot find anything because there is nothing to find. You did not borrow power. You became it. And the more they cannot crack it, the more unhinged they become. Some even whisper, there is no way this is just them. Someone is helping. Someone is teaching. Someone is backing this. They need a name. They need a person to blame. They need something, anything that lets them sleep at night without admitting that you outgrew them while they were busy looking elsewhere. Why do they care this much? Why are they this pressed about your rise? Simple. Your success exposes their excuses. Every step you take forward reminds them of their own stagnation. You moved without validation, without applause, without anyone clapping in the background. And that burns them because they have spent their entire lives waiting for permission. You did not. You chose yourself. And that is what makes you a threat. Let us be honest. They witnessed you fall. They witnessed you break. They witnessed you vanish into the shadows they assumed would swallow you whole. So when you reappeared stronger, sharper, colder, they had no framework to process it. There was no mentor tagged in your story, no motivational coach posting your progress, no group cheering your comeback. You came back like a villain who built an empire in a basement everyone forgot existed, quiet, calculated, untouchable. And the cosmos watched you rebuild, piece by piece, turning agony into precision. That is what they cannot grasp. They do not understand transformations that occur in silence. They do not understand growth born from being underestimated. They do not recognize strength that is not loud. So, they invent narratives. They create imaginary mentors. They assign your power to anyone but you. Who is helping them? Who is training them? Who is feeding them this game? You want the real punchline? Their questions are not about admiration. They are about fear. They are terrified you are not supposed to be this sharp. They are terrified you are not supposed to be this calculated. They are terrified you are not supposed to be this aware of their motives. So if they can convince themselves someone else is directing you, it brings them comfort. It means you are not inherently powerful. It means you are not naturally a problem. It means someone else is the real threat, not you. They are wrong, of course, but let them keep believing that lie if it helps them sleep. At this stage of the story, you might even be wondering, why does it bother them this much? Why are they so obsessed with my guidance? Because if they confess you did all of this alone, they would have to confess they never truly knew you. They would have to confess they underestimated someone who was always 10 steps ahead. They would have to confess you played the game better than they ever could. They would have to confess you defeated them without ever touching them. And nothing humiliates an adversary more than realizing the person they tried to break reconstructed themselves into someone unstoppable with no external help, no savior, no puppet master, just grit, just clarity, just that cold fire inside you that they never respected until it was too late. Look back at your past. Remember that moment. Chapter 6. Final Prayer and Encouragement. Everyone has one where you felt utterly abandoned. No support, no guidance, no hand reaching out. Just you and your chaos. They believed that moment would finish you. They believed that was the chapter where you would stay stuck forever. But instead, that became the chapter where you met the strongest version of yourself. That moment transformed you into someone they will be analyzing for years. You learned to think differently, move differently, cut differently. You learned to read people without them opening their mouths. You learned to protect your energy like a vault. You learned to trust the cosmos more than you trusted human promises. That version of you is the one rising now, the one they cannot explain, the one that feels like it appeared from nowhere, the one they swear must be backed by someone powerful. They are right. You are backed by someone powerful. They refuse to accept that. So they hunt for a shadow figure that does not exist. They want to expose your mentor, but all they will ever expose is their own insecurity. They want to discredit your rise, but all they will ever do is highlight how far behind they truly are. They want to know who helped you, but the truth is simpler and more humiliating than anything they could imagine. No one coached your intuition. No one trained your resilience. No one handed you your timing, your insight, your instinct for danger, your precision under pressure. That came from surviving things they would never last 5 minutes in. The cosmos did not spoon-feed you answers. It handed you situations that forced you to evolve, and evolve you did. So let them keep asking the same tired question. Let them tear apart your life searching for clues. Let them construct stories, build theories, and accuse nameless people of shaping you. Let them stay confused. Let them stay pressed. Let them stay obsessed because the answer they are chasing is already in the mirror they refuse to look into. They keep asking, who is helping you? And every time your silence strikes them harder than any answer ever could, the truth is closer than they think. Number 2, the smile that shatters their entire investigation. Nothing rattles an adversary more than a smile they cannot decode. Your silence confused them. Your comeback terrified them. But your smile broke them. They wanted answers, you gave them calmness. That is why they panic. When the blueprint does not match the builder, the inspectors start losing their minds. They despise your smile, chosen one. Despise it with a special kind of dread they have no label for yet. They have run every test, scanned every angle, compared every move, and still nothing. You do not match any system they have seen. You do not follow any mentor they recognize. You do not sound like anyone who trained under someone famous. You do not move like someone who copied a winning formula. Your entire energy feels custom-built, handcrafted, stitched together by battles you never mentioned. And that smile of yours, that smile is the final glitch in their entire investigation. Imagine this, a group of people sitting in a dim room, replaying your existence like detectives reviewing footage. They pause the screen when you smile, zoom in, hoping the curve of your lips will betray something, a clue, a teacher, a strategy. But it never does. All they see is someone who survived hell with a grin sharp enough to slice through every lie they ever told about you. Your smile is too calm, too certain, too earned. They know fake confidence. They know borrowed strength. They know the high-pitched, shaky smile of someone pretending to be all right. But yours is the kind forged in fire. The kind that says, I made it through what you would never survive. And that makes their stomach drop. Here is what they never say out loud. Your smile exposes them. It exposes how wrong they were. It exposes how deeply they underestimated you. It exposes how little control they possess now. They used to be the ones who made you second-guess yourself. Now your calmness makes them question everything they thought they understood. And that is the truth. They are not confused because they do not know your blueprint. They are confused because you do not have one. You built yourself outside the grid, outside their categories, outside their expectations. They cannot file you under self-help follower, motivational student, guided prodigy, or team-powered rise. None of the usual labels apply. You were supposed to break. Instead, you broke the mold. You might even ask yourself right now, why does my smile bother them so much? Why does it trigger this much chaos? Because it shatters the illusion they leaned on. It proves you did not need their approval. You did not need their support. You did not need their blueprint. You did not need their permission to rise. Your smile tells them you were always capable. You just stopped waiting for anyone to notice. Imagine this. A chessboard. Pieces scattered. The enemy ready to strike. The board is tilted against you. Everything looks hopeless. But instead of panicking, you sit back, arms crossed, and smile. That one smile demolishes their entire confidence, because no one smiles in a losing position unless they already scripted the ending. That was you. Game after game after game. Or picture this scene. They are standing over your existence like architects reviewing a building that should not exist. You built floors they never authorized, bridges they said were impossible, rooms they thought you would never reach. They check the blueprint. Blank. They flip the page. Still blank. They ask, who helped build this? You smile because you know the truth. They are searching for a blueprint that only exists inside your scars. They are terrified of that smile because it proves something they never wanted to confess. You learned everything they tried to hide from you. You unlocked doors they swore you would never find. You figured out systems they assumed were too complex for you. You rose in silence without witnesses, without applause, without safety nets. And now your smile is the only evidence that you have been operating on a level they have no access to. Even worse, they recognize that smile. They have seen it before, but not on someone like you. It is the smile of someone who knows something the room does not. It is the smile of someone who already walked through fire and does not fear the smoke anymore. It is the smile of someone who does not beg to be chosen because they finally chose themselves. That is why they panic. That is why they whisper. That is why they obsess. They have been trying to identify the teacher who trained you, the system that grew you, the mastermind that upgraded you, but nothing fits because all their guesses come from a world you outgrew. You evolved past their imagination. They ask, who sharpened them? Who taught them to move like this? Who gave them this mindset? Who helped them build all this so fast? Here is the truth that scorches their lungs. You did not learn from a person. You learned from pressure. You learned from heartbreak. You learned from moments where life shoved you into corners people like them never had to fight their way out of. Pain became your mentor. Isolation became your instructor. The cosmos became your silent coach, pushing you forward every time you thought you were done. Imagine this final scene. They are watching you walk into a room quiet, calm, with that same unsettling smile. People turn, energy shifts, and even the ones who do not know your story can feel something powerful radiating off you. And the ones who do know your past freeze because your smile confirms something they feared. You did not rise because someone carried you. You rose because you learned how to carry yourself. Your smile is the summary of every battle you survived. Your smile is the proof of every truth they tried to hide. Your smile is the end of their investigation and the beginning of your legend. They cannot decode it because it was not built for them. It was not built for the world. It was not built to prove anything. It was built inside you alone when there was no one else left. Let them keep digging. Let them keep guessing. Let them keep whispering. Because every time you smile, it reminds them the answer they are looking for is closer than they think. And terrifyingly enough for them, it has been staring at them the whole time. Number 3, the force hiding in plain sight. They keep searching behind you, never realizing the real force was rising inside you. They are absurd, chosen one. Truly, they are running around trying to find the mysterious mentor who shaped you, convinced some genius must be handing you the answers. They search for a coach, a strategist, a mastermind, anything that lets them pretend your power did not come from you. Because if you truly built all this on your own, then what does that say about them? That is the part they refuse to face. They overlook the one force that has been with you since the start, the version of you that refused to die, the version of you shaped by quiet nights, heavy moments, and choices nobody witnessed. They assume guidance must come from a person because their strength always depended on someone else. They cannot picture power that was not borrowed, taught, or gifted. They do not know what self-created energy looks like. Imagine this. They keep opening doors expecting to expose your helper, but every door simply reflects back their own fear. Or picture them digging through your history like archaeologists, hoping to find the moment someone swooped in to save you. But the deeper they dig, the more they realize the truth. No savior ever arrived. You built the blueprint by bleeding for it. You might be wondering, why do they keep assuming I had help? Because the alternative terrifies them. It means you were not trained, you were not coached, you were not shaped, you evolved. And evolution scares people who stayed the same. The cosmos sharpened you through pressure they have never experienced. That is the real force they overlook. Not a person, not a mentor, not a guide. You, the hardest version of you, the one they never expected to meet and now cannot escape. Number 4, the side of you they were never supposed to meet. Your shadow did not break you. It trained you. They are out here hunting mentors, while the real advisor has been living inside you like a locked vault they never had clearance to open. This is not some friendly guide with soft words and warm advice. No, your true advisor was the version of you built from every betrayal you swallowed, every scar you hid, every collapse you stood up from when nobody thought you would. It is the part of you that grew teeth in the dark, when the world hoped you would stay harmless. And now that this shadow self walks beside you in daylight, it scares people more than any teacher you could have named. Imagine this. Every time they betrayed you, the shadow self took notes. Every time someone left you alone, it sharpened its instincts. Every moment you thought you were breaking, the shadow self was actually forging you into someone they were never prepared to face. They believed they were destroying you. Adorable. They were upgrading your operating system. You might ask, why does this version of me hit them so hard? Because the shadow self does not play nice. It does not forget. It does not doubt. It does not wait for anyone to save you. It is the side of you that learned to stand up with no applause, walk forward with no hand to hold, and trust silence more than empty mouths. That is the advisor guiding you now. Picture them watching you move with confidence. They did not teach you wisdom. They did not give you strength. They did not approve of anything. They panic because they cannot trace it. They cannot track it. They cannot stop it. Your shadow self is ungovernable, unpredictable, unstoppable. Let them keep asking who trained you. The real answer is the part of you they tried to kill, and now it is the part leading you forward. Number 5, the intelligence they never saw coming. Nothing is scarier to an adversary than a mind sharpened by pain they never survived. They keep pretending you must have studied under some mastermind, some elite strategist, some brilliant thinker who sculpted your moves. Cute theory. Too bad it collapses the moment they observe how you operate. You do not move like someone who memorized lessons. You move like someone who lived them. Your intelligence was not taught in classrooms or delivered through motivational speeches. It was carved into you through raw memory, pattern recognition, and experience that hit hard enough to leave marks you still avoid discussing. Your shadow does not speak in quotes. It speaks in scars. It speaks in flashbacks. It speaks in warnings your body learned long before your mind caught up. This is not wisdom. This is data collected from every time you were betrayed, every time someone underestimated you, every time you watched someone reveal their true face. You built your intelligence the way storms build thunder, slowly, violently, undeniably. Imagine this. They are watching you make a move that seems too perfect, too precise, too timed, and they assume someone coached you. They never realize your brain is running simulations from memories they never had to endure. Or picture them trying to predict your next step, only to get blindsided because your decisions come from a deeper place they have never accessed. They do not recognize this kind of intelligence because they have never been cornered long enough to grow it. You might think, why does my instinct scare them so much? because they cannot track instincts forged in pain. They cannot anticipate someone who reads danger before it speaks. They cannot fight someone who learned to see patterns in people the moment they walk into the room. They cannot dismantle a mind that built itself after being torn apart. This dark intelligence of yours, it is the kind they cannot buy, cannot teach, cannot fake. And that is why they panic every time you smile, like you already know how the story ends. Number 6, the degree they could never survive. Some people went to class, you went to war. They love to ask where you learned all this. Who trained you? Who taught you to think like this? They want a name, a school, a program, something they can point at and say, that is where it came from. They want a neat explanation because the real one is too brutal for their world. Your education did not come from textbooks. It came from trenches they were never built to survive. Your lessons were not taught by professors. They were delivered by loss, pressure, betrayal, and every moment life shoved you face first into reality with no warning. You did not study emotional intelligence. You earned it by trusting the wrong people and watching everything collapse. You did not learn discipline. You built it in the nights where you could not afford to fall apart. You did not pick up strategic thinking. You developed it while trying to navigate situations so messy, no classroom could simulate them. Your training was the kind that leaves no certificates, just instincts sharper than knives. Imagine this. They brag about degrees, but you carry battle scars. They quote theories, but you have lived the experiments. They panic when things go wrong. You adjust like you expected it. Or picture them falling apart at a setback you would call Tuesday. They think you are lucky. They think you got help. They think someone coached you. No, you survived a reality they only read about. You might wonder, why cannot they understand where I really learned? Because they cannot imagine gaining strength from situations that would have destroyed them. They cannot comprehend education that demands pain as tuition. They cannot respect intelligence earned under pressure because they never faced pressure that did not come with a safety net. Your trenches made you. Your suffering shaped you. Your experience forged you into something no classroom could ever produce, and that is why they will never match you. Your education came with consequences they would never dare to pay. Number 7, the counsel they never knew you had. Your past did not haunt you. It started advising you. They keep digging for the mentor behind your rise. But they will never find the counsel that actually guides you. Because it is not made of people. It is made of you. Every version of you that ever broke. Every version of you that ever bled. Every version that walked through betrayal barefoot while pretending everything was fine. They did not disappear. They stayed. They gathered. They built something inside you that operates like a midnight council, whispering truths you did not know you absorbed. They think you move alone. They are wrong. You move with an army of your former selves standing behind you like silent generals. The wounded you warns you who to avoid. The angry you spots manipulation before it breathes. The abandoned you detects danger the moment a smile looks too friendly. The betrayed you can sense lies in someone's tone before the words even land. Imagine this. While they brag about networking, your guidance comes from memories that cost you pieces of your soul. Or picture them trying to predict you, not knowing you are pulling from data created by 10 different versions of yourself. Each one shaped by a different battlefield. No wonder you are impossible to read. You might ask, why does this scare them so much? Because they cannot fight a person who carries their entire past as armor. They cannot deceive someone whose instincts were forged by every mistake that once shattered them. They cannot manipulate someone who already survived the worst parts of themselves. This midnight council inside you, they did not choose it. You did not plan it, but it formed anyway in silence, in pain, in moments where no one came to save you, and now it makes you unstoppable, unpredictable, and impossible to break. Number 8. The reason your every move feels like dark sorcery to them. Nothing looks more supernatural than a person who finally learned how to use everything life ever hurled at them. They swear you are doing something impossible. They swear your timing is too perfect, your choice is too sharp, your comebacks too well aimed. They whisper like you are pulling strings from some hidden tower, like someone must be feeding you intel the rest of them do not have access to. But the truth is far simpler and far more terrifying for them. Your moves look supernatural because they are built from years of internal data. Your shadow self has been collecting in silence. Every betrayal taught you a pattern. Every heartbreak taught you a warning sign. Every downfall taught you timing. Every recovery taught you patience. Your shadow archived it all quietly, efficiently, like a supercomputer built from pain they never witnessed. Imagine this. They see you sidestep a trap before it even forms and assume you got a tip from someone, or picture them watching you walk away from a person who seemed fine, not realizing your shadow recognized a danger signal from 3 betrayals ago. They think you are psychic. They think you are being coached. No, you are just done ignoring what your past tried so hard to teach you. And you might wonder, why does it look supernatural to them but normal to me? Because they never had to survive what you did. They never had to build instincts from scratch. They never had to grow antennae for danger, manipulation, fake affection, or hidden motives. Their lives were not shaped by trenches. Yours was. Your decisions look orchestrated because your shadow has already lived the worst-case scenarios. Your reactions look calculated because you have seen these patterns repeat enough times to predict them like weather. Your victories feel inevitable because you learned how to move in silence long before they ever noticed you. They call it supernatural. You call it experience finally speaking up. Number 9, the navigation system they never knew you were building. Your suffering did not break you. It programmed you. They watch you move with impossible accuracy. Chosen one. Like you have some hidden GPS telling you exactly where to go and who to avoid. They swear someone must be directing you. Someone must be whispering directions into your ear. But the truth is, way colder, way darker, and way more embarrassing for them. Your shadow became your navigation system. Every mistake you made downloaded a map. Every betrayal updated the route. Every dead end you hit recalculated your path in ways they could never see. You did not wake up wise, you woke up experienced. That is what they cannot understand. They think real guidance comes from coaches and mentors. Yours came from nights where you sat alone trying to figure out why the world kept punching holes in you. They never saw you rewrite yourself from scratch after each hit. They never saw how you took failure and turned it into memory, turned memory into recognition, turned recognition into direction. Imagine this. They are watching you walk away from a situation and whisper, "How did they know?" Not realizing your internal GPS recognized the same danger pattern you lived through years ago. Or picture them shocked when you choose the right path instantly while they are still debating. They think you are guessing. No, you are following coordinates carved into you by pain. You might wonder, why does my internal guidance scare them this much? Because their direction came from comfort. Yours came from survival. They follow what they are told. You follow what you earned. They trust people. You trust patterns. They rely on advice. You rely on instinct that has been tested under pressure. Your suffering became your compass. Your wrong turns became your insight. Your dead ends became your reroutes. And now your shadow guides you with a precision no outsider could ever match. They think someone is leading you. They are wrong. You built a GPS out of every scar they expected to silence you. Number 10, the calculator in your darkness they will never touch. Your shadow does not guess. It calculates faster than fear, faster than doubt, faster than any enemy watching you. They swear you are being coached by some elite tactician, some hidden strategist pulling strings behind you. They watch the way you move, the timing, the precision, the calm under pressure. And they panic because it does not line up with anything they understand. They try to study you, break you down, decode you like a puzzle. But nothing fits, nothing matches, nothing explains the speed at which your instincts fire. That is because the intelligence guiding you is not outside of you. It is the shadow inside you running calculations faster than your conscious mind can even form the question. You do not think your way through danger. You feel the pattern before it forms. You do not analyze fake people. Your shadow flags them before they smile. You do not debate your next move. Your instincts have already finished the math. Imagine this. They are standing in a room full of people trying to read the energy while you walk in and instantly know who to avoid, who is lying, who is desperate, who is masking insecurity. Your shadow scans the room like a machine built from every betrayal you lived through. Or picture them assuming you got lucky when you dodged a setup, not realizing your shadow predicted the entire situation 3 steps ahead. You might ask, why does my intuition feel faster than thought? Because it is. Your conscious mind learned from books. Your shadow learned from survival. It processed every wound, every mistake, every warning sign, and turned it into raw data. It does not talk in language. It talks in signals, sensations, impulses that feel almost supernatural to people who never built such internal armor. They cannot access this strategic intelligence because they never paid its price. They avoided hardship. You absorbed it. They escaped discomfort. You walked through it. They refused to look at their darkness. You made yours your ally. Your shadow became your strategist. Your scars became your algorithms. Your pain became your processor. And now the calculations inside you are so fast, so sharp, so quietly lethal, that your moves seem orchestrated by something cosmic. They call it impossible. They call it unnatural. They call it someone must be helping them. No, your shadow just learned how to think at a speed they were never built for. Number 11, the memory bank that hunts them in their sleep. Your shadow did not forgive, it archived. This is the part that makes your enemies flinch when your name comes up. They think your shadow is just a guide, just an instinct, just a bit of intuition sprinkled on top of your transformation. They have no idea how deep it really goes. Your shadow remembers everything, every insult whispered behind your back, every fake smile aimed at your face every time they laughed when you fell, every moment they were certain you would never rise again. They think you forgot. You did not. You evolved. Your shadow uses their disrespect as fuel, their underestimation as fire, their betrayal as blueprint. Imagine this. Every time someone tried to belittle you, your shadow quietly stored the footage. Every time someone said you were not enough, it bookmarked the moment. Every time someone chose someone else over you, it sharpened itself a little more. They thought they were breaking you. All they were doing was uploading more data into the system that now guides your every move. Picture them watching you rise now, confused, terrified, whispering, "Why them? How did they get so smart, so strong, so sharp?" They will never admit the truth. They built half of this version of you themselves. Every wound they gave you became a lesson. Every loss became a weapon. Every humiliation became a code your shadow cracked and stored for future use. You might wonder, is it petty to remember? No, it is survival. Your shadow does not seek revenge. It seeks precision. It knows who deserves access and who should be shut out forever. It remembers patterns, motives, traits, energy, not to hurt people, but to make sure no one ever hurts you the same way again. And that is what terrifies them most. Your rise is not random. It is not luck. It is the result of a shadow that remembers everything they hoped you would forget and turned it into power they can never steal. Number 12. The price tag they were never willing to pay. They want your throne, but they would never survive your origin story. This is where the gap becomes brutal, chosen one. They look at your rise like it is magic, like you woke up one day glowing with some untouchable force. They want your strength, but not the nights that broke you. They want your clarity, but not the confusion you drowned in. They want your calm, but not the storms that carved it into your bones. They want the results, never the process. And that is exactly why they will never understand the source of your power. Imagine this. They see you winning and think it looks easy. They see you unbothered and think you are naturally detached. They see you shining and assume the cosmos handed you something. They never saw you clawing your way out of places they would not last an hour in. They never saw you rebuild yourself after betrayals that would have ended them. They never saw the nights where you held your own heart together with shaking hands because no one else could. You might ask, why do they not get it? Why do they pretend my rise is effortless? Because admitting the truth would destroy their ego. It would force them to confront the fact that you earned what they only fantasize about. It would show them that your power was not inherited, gifted, or borrowed. It was forged. And forging anything requires pressure they have spent their whole lives avoiding. Picture them wanting your glow, but rejecting your darkness. Wanting your confidence, but refusing your scars. Wanting your insight, but dodging the pain that taught you. That is the irony. The very things they envy are the same things they would have run from screaming. They will never understand your rise because they never walked your path. They never carried your weight. They never faced your shadows. And that is why your power does not belong to them. It belongs to the one who survived the process they feared. Number 13, the answer that silences them forever. They keep asking who is helping you, not realizing the only reason you survived was because no one did. This is where everything comes full circle, chosen one. This is where the story stops being a mystery to them and becomes a mirror they are terrified to look into. They have spent months, maybe years, hunting for the ghost behind your eyes. They wanted a name they could blame for your strength, a mentor they could expose, a blueprint they could steal. They needed something, anything to excuse the fact that you outgrew every limit they built for you. But here is the truth they never prepared for. The source of your power is not a person, a program, or a teacher. It is the version of you they tried to break. It is the shadow that walked beside you in the dark when no one else would. It is the intelligence you forged in isolation. It is the scars that taught you to see danger before it speaks, lies before they are told, and betrayal before it forms. You did not rise because someone lifted you. You rose because everything that tried to destroy you pushed you into evolution. You did not glow because life got easier. You glowed because you got harder. Imagine them now replaying your choices like detectives replaying footage from a crime scene, trying to identify some outside force shaping your steps. But every angle points back to the same truth. Your suffering built a blueprint they will never access. It is not written down anywhere. It is not spoken aloud. It is coded into you, into your reactions, into your instincts, into the way you walk into a room like you have already lived the danger and survived it. You might wonder, why cannot they just accept that I built myself? Because accepting your self-made rise forces them to accept their self-inflicted stagnation. Because admitting your power came from darkness means admitting they never had the courage to face their own. Because if you are proof of what a person becomes when they refuse to stay broken, then they are proof of what someone becomes when they choose comfort over transformation. Your rise insults them because it exposes them. Your strength embarrasses them because it reminds them of their weakness. Your glow scares them because it was not gifted. It was earned in a way they never imagined. And now the question they keep repeating, who is helping you, becomes the very thing that destroys their narrative. Because the answer is not some hidden figure they can blame or discredit. The answer is not a mastermind they can expose. The answer is not a guide they can confront. The answer is the force inside you they never thought would awaken, the shadow they created by hurting you, the intelligence they triggered by doubting you, the strength they built by abandoning you. You are not backed by someone. You are backed by everything you survived, and now the rise they tried to explain away stands in front of them as a truth they cannot escape. You became the person